What's going on, YouTube? Back again this Sunday, 10:25 p.m. And just sitting here thinking, gotta get up tomorrow, start another work week. And sometimes you just think back to, well, I do anyway. I don't know about anybody else, but I think back to, at what point did my life lead me to this point that I'm at now? I'm not saying that at this point I'm at a bad point or anything like that, but compared to when I was a kid to compared to now where I'm at, I mean, as a kid, you don't see the journey that you have to go through for life. I mean, you just think of the end results. And for a child, that's good. You shouldn't have to see the everyday things that adults have to deal with life. Work, bills, stress, all that. As a kid, you should just be a kid. And unfortunately, a lot of kids don't get the opportunity because they have to grow up early. But, one thing about kids, we have imagination. And that imagination takes us probably more places than our pockets could ever take us, unless we're blessed enough to have deep pockets. And I was reflecting back, I had those dreams as a kid, but now, currently a custodian, and I don't have nothing against that. That's just the way, those cards were dealt. I'm making the best of that situation. I have respect for every other custodian out there, just as I would like for everybody to have the same respect for me. But to end up here from where I started as a kid, when I was a kid, I wanted to be everything. I wanted to be an astronaut till I found out I was scared of heights. I wanted to be a submariner, whatever they call them, till I realized I was never going to learn how to swim, even though I do live in Florida. And, after high school, life came fast. And that's one thing I wasn't prepared for, the speed of which life comes at you after you get out of high school or when you enter adulthood. But, that's life. So currently I'm custodian now. I work at a high school here in the North Florida area, and it's by happenstance that I came across it because, like I said in my last video, I was working 2 jobs. My other job before this, I was a material handler, and paid fairly good working in the warehouse. I love working in the warehouse. It gave me the ability to, stay fit, get exercise, workout. And, like I say, camaraderie between the fellas in the warehouse. Sometimes you just can't get that nowhere else. But, I was working at the warehouse then, and I took on the custodial job, to get extra income to help my daughter get a car. She didn't know that before. If she see this video, she gonna know that then. But that was the purpose of that extra job, to get extra income to help my daughter get her first car. And I was content with working 16-hour days, probably getting 3 hours of sleep before I had to go from one job to the next, if even that. But I was gonna make it work. And like I say, unforeseen circumstances had like back in February last year, my master cylinder in my truck went out. And I was coming down the road and I hit on brakes, and my brake pedal went all the way to the floor. And I entered into a skid. And it kept me out a couple days from work. And what I didn't know at the time was my job had a policy where if you get in an accident, either on company clock or off the company clock, you have to get cleared by a doctor before they'll let you back to work. And that really threw a wrench in everything because, I was feeling good. It wasn't a bad accident. It was just, I guess, their policy. But that policy caused me to miss 6-7 days of work because around here, there was nobody who would do like a walk-in for accidents. You had to make an appointment, and the particular doctor I had at the time, they were taking like appointments 2-3 weeks out, so it was going to be a time before I got to the doctor, and so that ate up a lot of my PTO and everything like that. But to make a long story short, those days off that I missed, like I said earlier in my first video, they didn't fall off, so they accumulated. And you know, I had a dental surgery that didn't go too well back in October, and it caused me to miss some extra days that I didn't have scheduled. And you know, I don't blame nobody for it. That's just life. That's how it happens. But by me having that job as a custodian, you know, I did have something to fall back on. And working as a custodian, you know, to me, work is work. Whatever you do, I do everything like I do anything. I'm putting my all into it, and I'm going to do the job to the best of my ability. But working here has gave me time to think, because I work by myself. I'm not micromanaged. I have a job to do. I know what it is to do, so I just go through it seamlessly. But now being here in my 40s, like the time that it gives me to think, like that's invaluable. And you know, I kind of work raw, no headphones, no nothing. One of the fellas at the job asked me, do I use headphones? I was like, nah, because to me, this is my quiet time. This is time where I have my solitude and I'm alone with my thoughts. And when you get to a certain age, you start appreciating your thoughts, because that's where ideas develop. That's where ideas formulate. You start planning amongst yourself. And just having that time really kicks your thinking level up a notch, because now it's just you and you, nobody else. Sometimes you can be your best asset or your worst enemy. And that happens to everybody. I mean, you hype yourself up to do something, to take yourself to another level, and you know, the worst of you comes out and it just stops you. But I'm overcoming that, because like I say, in that time as working as a custodian, that solitude is so invaluable. It gave me the courage to put my story out there, which is what I'm doing now, to talk to you all, and you know, just give you every day of my life. Like somebody pulling up in the backyard. They better not come bother me. But and it's still providing for my family, like, you know, it would. I put in the extra hours I need to. You know, any extra assignments come up, if I'm available to take it. I'm not doing my side. I do have a side gig I do on my own. You know, I'm a drone pilot, so I do stuff on the side with that. But, you know, it doesn't interfere with that. And it's really, like I say, if getting fired was a blessing in disguise, having this backup job was a blessing in disguise as well, because when you're alone with your thoughts, sometimes you have to make the best of yourself come out. And that's where I'm at now. And being a custodian, I mean, you meet really cool people. So far, the people I met, you know, I got a cool supervisor. He gives me the reins to run solo as long as the job gets done. You know, I've been able to bring some family members on, because, you know, they were looking for other careers to free them up some time, and we've all been able to make that happen. So I'm very grateful for that. And I think my next steps from here is to find out, you know, with this free time, what I'll be able to develop. Who that?
Who the fuck you think this is?
Oh, shit, it's me, boy.
What you doing in the truck?
I'm talking to the people on YouTube, letting them know my story.
Somebody how you quit your job?
I'm talking about everything.
Type shit.
I'll holler at you later, though.
Alright.
Yup. Now, my son, though. You know, and that's one of the reasons I do it for my kids. Like, I ain't never gonna start working for my kids. Like, I got a 78-year-old father now. He still look out for me. I still look out for him. And that's what I'm gonna do for my kids. And hopefully I'm instilling that for them to do to their kids. But, you know, I digress back to, my custodial life. You meet interesting people being custodians. You might be at an expensive private school where you're from the other side of town, so to speak. So now you get to intermingle with people who you would never have thought that you would get to rub elbows with. And like I said, I enjoy meeting people. As introverted as I am, once I get around people, once I feel comfortable, I will start talking to you and let you know. And that's one other reason why I don't mind being a custodian, because I'm meeting people from different walks of life. Police officers, teachers from different parts of the country with different backgrounds who I can pick their brains from, because, even though I am a custodian, don't mean I'm not educated. I have different backgrounds and different things. Insurance was my main source of income for a while, but burnout is real. I have, sort of a technical background. I like electronics, and I'm kind of self-taught. I'll dive into books and everything for hours just to find something out. So being around teachers of different subjects, different passions, different backgrounds, that's almost like a walking, talking book to me. And I find that invaluable because I can always pick a brain. They're always willing to talk. And even though they may see me as a custodian, they all have respect. And that's one thing that I respect most about them. They don't see me as a custodian. I'm a part of the staff. We're very cordial. I speak, they speak, respect goes a long way. So, I really can't complain. But what this is going to do with that time being alone, being in my thoughts of custodian, that's going to propel me to be the better version of my next self. I'm 41 now, and I figured at this point, it's time for me not to reinvent myself, but to reprogram. And, like anything you want to reprogram, it takes time. You have to plan it out, lay it out, make sure not so much everything is at the right time, because there's never going to be a right time. But you do want to have the resources and the plan in place that when you do reprogram yourself or reinvent yourself, you have a direction of where you're going and what it's going to be. And so that time, as I'm a custodian working from 2:30 in the afternoon to 11 o'clock at night, that's 8 hours that I'm reprogramming myself not to think about the worries of the day, but to see the light of the future, so to speak. I'm always looking for the next thing I can do with myself to take myself to that next level, to bring in that extra income, to rub shoulders in a different environment, in different settings outside of being a custodian with different people. I always told myself I never want to be the smartest person in the room, because once you find yourself the smartest person in the room, then you have to find another room where you're not the smartest. And I never considered myself the smartest person in the room among, people I interact with. I'm going to stand back and listen to what you got to say. So maybe some of that can rub off onto me. And that's kind of where I'm finding myself at now. And I believe it or not, I owe that all to being a custodian. Like I said, I used to work in multiple jobs, multiple hours, hustle and bustle. You never have time to think. It's work, sleep, get up, rinse, wash and repeat. You're doing the same thing. But now that I slowed down, I'm not inside my head so much. I get all my thoughts out in them 8 hours while I'm cleaning them classrooms, cleaning them bathrooms, doing what I got to do. So when I do come home, I'm not so much physically exhausted, but I'm mentally exhausted in a good way, because my mind's just been running. And when it's doing that, it's kind of like when you seen, Endgame, and I can't remember his name, the sorcerer wizard dude. He said he ran thousands of simulations over and over in his head of outputs that could come. There was only one output. And that's kind of what I see myself doing at this job. I'm running different ideas in my head, pros, cons, good, bad, what could happen, what couldn't happen. And I probably go through about 4 or 5 ideas a day. And eventually I settle on one that I can focus on, come home, put it down my little ledger, and I start doing research on it. I'm not going to just stick at one. I'm at the stage in my life to where I want my plate to be as full as possible, because on a full plate, you're always going to eat. And even if it's something on that plate you don't like, you got other things on that plate that you still got that you still going to eat. So I'm not at a place where telling people I have a full plate no more. If it's something I can handle, and if it's a load that I'm able to bear, I say add it to my plate, because I want more. Not that I'm trying to put too much on my shoulders, it's just that I want that bearance of more. I want to be the example for my kids. I want to be the guiding light for my wife. So by taking on the responsibilities, taking on more responsibilities, I believe I'll eventually get there. Now, who's to say I'll be a janitor, custodian 4 or 5 years down the line? I don't know. Maybe one of these ideas I had might pop, and I might have the next big thing. But I am enjoying, the time that I'm doing now. As far as pay as a custodian, for the area I'm at, it's basically along with everything else you're gonna do. I mean, I don't have no college degree. I did go, didn't finish, but I got in there and just realized, not saying it wasn't for me, I wasn't in tune with the college life. And I just joined the workforce. And like I said, I've done numerous jobs. I'm kind of like the jack of all trades, but master of none. I think I'm starting to fit that description now, because I can do a lot of stuff, but don't ask me to be perfect about it. But I really found this career that's, like I say, give me that opportunity to just plan for the future. So, if you're somebody that's out there, you're looking for that job or that career to where you can refocus your life, think about being a custodian. Granted, it ain't glamorous, but that glamorous life ain't built for everybody. I know I don't want it. I don't want to be in the spotlight every day. People I don't know claiming to be fans or, friends. No, I don't desire that life. I like being more grounded, down to earth, kind of in the background. I like meeting genuine people. I don't want to be loved because of my status. I want to be loved by people because who I am and how I make them feel. So as long as I got somewhere, to be able to do that, that's working. And pay, like I was going back to, pay, keep the lights on, keep the kids fed, keeps us clothed, give us that basic needs in life that we need. But, as humans, there's always a want for more. You're going to want more, you're going to need more. So, this is giving me that extra time to think. Yeah. So I just want to give you, background of why I have no problems being a custodian. I hope there's other custodians out there. If you are, please reach out to me. Let me know what you like or dislike about being a custodian. I do have some dislikes, boy. You want to know how many times a child could piss on the floor before you lose your top? Be a custodian. Because that's almost an everyday occurrence. But, each job you take the good with the bad. But, if you are somebody who's looking for that time to have to yourself, to get your thoughts formulated, you don't want to sit around the house and not do nothing or, wander aimlessly around, because hell, even when you wander aimlessly around, your thoughts still focused on, might not be, your thoughts might not be centered and focused on what you want to be on. So maybe if you're working and have the time while you're working to think, because it's a thinkless job. You got your list of what you need to do, and once you learn it, it's almost like second nature. So it's definitely, like I say, that's the biggest gain I get from being a custodian. It frees up my time to where I'm able to think more, and by thinking more, I can do more, because I've always been a thinker. But I feel like I'm rambling on now. But I'm liking this platform. I'm getting to express myself and get these thoughts out. I've been bottled up for so long because, like I said, I'm an introvert, and I never would think I would get in front of the camera. But telling my story is being beneficial for me, because I'm letting off more and more built up, bottled up, not frustration, but just energy. So I'm really liking this platform. I'm hoping you liking it with me. Please like, share, subscribe. If you have any ideas of, what you would like to know about a custodian, drop them in the comment section. And I'll definitely be revisiting this topic again. But, I just wanted to, before this work week starts, just want to be thankful that I do have this job to be able to think, plan, execute, and put into motion, different ideas I have. So until next time, YouTube, this your boy Fat Man signing out.